Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the TED Show. Today's Veterans Day, so make sure you thank a vet. I am excited to have Suzanne Dwyer on the show. We're going to talk about the need for foundation building in small business. What a super important topic. And so I'm very excited to have her on the show. Be a beacon in your industry.com is her website. And she is, that is scrolling across the bottom. Welcome, Suzanne. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
I am doing awesome today. What did we decide before we went live? Today's Wednesday. So we are going to just figure out how to maneuver through. We keep thinking it's Friday, right? So I'm excited to have you on the show. I love what you do and I love this topic. But before we get into that, people love to know origin story. They want to know about you. So tell us a little bit about Suzanne.
Absolutely. First of all, I am a coach consultant, been doing it for 13 years. I've been in the marketing realm for 19 years. So, yes, I'm old. Um,
You
so,
do not look old at all.
Listen, I like, okay, so Dove soap does wonders. Okay. I'm just saying. I've been doing what I do for a very long time. I've kind of been in and out of, understanding the brand new marketing and, the latest and greatest in what's coming up in business. I always stayed really on top of that. I kind of fell in love with marketing, which I know like only crazy people do. So I'm
I'm
just
one of
like, I
those.
will,
I love it.
right? Like, it's awesome. So, like, marketing itself is like its last legal form of mind control, right?
God, if we
How
don't
cool is that?
hashtag that and create a whole movement on that, I
Um,
love it.
right? Like, I mean, maybe it's like the redheaded personality. I like kind of overcoming and like domineering and everything. So, I'm like, okay, so like, yeah, it's mind control. Like, we can convince anybody to do anything with the right marketing and the right message. So I love that.
I love it.
Yeah. So getting into coaching consulting, I kind of bring that to the surface with people and let them know, kind of like, hey, here's the deal. Like, this is what you guys really need to know. Like, need to understand why people make the decisions that they make. And the better you understand that, the easier it is to have a conversation with someone. So,
I love that. I
yeah.
think that that is so unique in the coaching world, in my opinion. I think coaches in general don't address that side of things. So how awesome is that? Because that's such an important part of being a small business owner or team leader or whatever it is that you're looking for from a coach is the marketing side. And because you have the experience, you bring a whole different facet, which is really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, I like to focus on like the main four facets of what I love, which is mindset, business structure, marketing, and sales. It all starts in the mindset because if you're not in the right headspace yourself, your clients won't be either because they're not going to be listening to you.
It's true. They don't,
And
right? And say that
mhm.
again because I think that's so important. That's sort of like when we talk about in the beginning and I say, yeah, they've got to know, they've got to be in the right mindset in order for them to hear your message. The mindset's so important. So what do you do? I'm curious because that's a big buzzword, mindset, right? Mindset's
Mhm.
everywhere. What do you do with your clients to kind of get them that way? Because I'm guessing by the time they get to you, they have forgotten any mindset that they might have had prior.
Oh, absolutely. Well, one of the big things is it's actually like one of the talks that I do is all about I don't want to curse on your show, but
You
is
can, it's fine.
okay, great, cool. So like a talk I do is don't let your brain be a dick because that's what it is, right? Like
That
our
is,
brain is like this overbearing parent. So I teach them how to kind of counteract the bad parent brain and kind of like not let that kind of take over and domineer your thought processes.
I love that. That's another, like, you've given me like three hashtags already. Don't let your brain be a dick.
Yes,
Wow. Because that is so descriptive, because that's what happens. The brain becomes this crazy jerk dick in the background, and then it's controlling you, but not in a good way. It's controlling you in a bad way.
exactly.
I love
Exactly.
that. All right. So, what were the other ones? It's mindset,
Business structure.
business
So the
structure.
foundation. Yep, the foundation. And then get into the marketing and the sales component because we can do marketing and sales all day long, but without a strong foundation, it doesn't matter. You
Correct.
need to have that foundation. So understanding how to build a strong foundation is incredibly important because without that, your marketing and sales could skyrocket and you have no way to be able to handle that influx and growth.
Yes, the grow with your growth. When I talk to people, you have to have that in place. But let's talk about the foundation, because that's the topic today. And I think a lot of people don't even know what to build on. They have an idea, they may have a passion, they may like to be in a certain arena, but they don't know how to build the foundation so that they can be successful each step of the way, instead of what you talked about was growing too fast and not growing with that growth. So how do we set the foundation up? What are some things we need to look at or talk about?
Absolutely. Well, one of the first things is like really, really understanding the type of personality that has a hard time with building foundations. Now, that's typically the people that are in like that solopreneur small business space of like they have a great product, they have a great service, and they love it so much that they spend all of their time and energy there. Yeah. And then they put up a couple posts on Facebook, and then they put up a couple posts on Instagram, and they're like, why isn't everybody buying my shit? Right? Like, well, you need concept, you need strategy, you need this, you need that, you need all of these pieces. So 9 times out of 10, it's more of the people that are really, really awesome at their trade, really great at their trade, and really suck at their business.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's the day-to-day stuff. It's the understanding and ROI and budgeting and all of those pieces that you really need to understand, or the whole concept of everyone is my client. The last time I heard that from someone, I was like, listen, like, I'm so excited for you. Like, your budget must be amazing. Like, you must have a bazillion dollars in the bank. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, then, but everybody's your client. Well, who buys from you? Well, my aunt buys from me. I'm like, great. Does your uncle? No. I'm like, what about like your father? No. It's female-based stuff. I'm like, okay, so then are men your client? No. Oh. I'm like, there it is. Okay.
So you're getting to the nitty-gritty of what is not working or why it's not working. Because I think a lot of people do. They have a passion, they have a belief, they have a great product. Maybe they have a great personality too, but they can't figure out why it's not all coming together in the beautiful way, and they're not making $1 million their first month out the gate. And it's because I believe they don't set that foundation. They don't build it. They don't even know how to lay the first stone.
Right. So what we typically do is I actually have coaches that work with me that work with these small business owners in group coaching platforms. First of all, making it like incredibly affordable to actually be able to get this help and this guidance that they need. But all of our coaches are business coaches with some kind of cool specialty, so that they get help in that area also. So it's like 16 lessons in 8 weeks that they get. And those 16 lessons are all about like building that strong foundation. So like really understanding their client, understanding the systems that they need, the components that they need, budgeting, time management. Time management's huge.
Time management is something. An expert at time management?
Oh my God, if everybody was an expert at time management, like everyone would be doing so wonderful with their entire lives, right? Like no one is good at time management. Even my dog like will spend extra time outside and he doesn't need to. And I'm like, you're not being efficient right now, Yoshi. Like, come on, work with us. So no one's good at time management.
That's good.
I'm telling you, like no one's good at time management. And why? Especially being a small business owner, we hyper focus in one space, right? So when you hyper focus in one space, you accomplish like only 30% of that thing you're hyper focusing on. You can't actually come to like that full understanding of what needs to be done for that one thing, because you get like this close, right? Like it's right, you got your nose against the glass. So if you're like, I'm going to build a sales funnel today and that's all I'm going to do, and that is my sole focus and my sole presence, and that's it, great. Wonderful. You're going to come back to that sales funnel 2 days later and be like, what was I thinking? This looks like shit. I don't like it. I'm going to change this whole thing. And you're going to dive right back into it. And you're going to do it all over again. It just doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of those components that people have a hard time with. So some of the biggest things that I usually suggest to people, the first thing is be aware and intentional with your time. Incredibly intentional with your time. What I do every single night before I go to bed, 5 intentions. I write out 4 that are business related that I make. It's basically me making a promise to myself. 4 business related, 1 personal. I'm going to accomplish these 5 things tomorrow.
So
That's
you
it.
said it's
Come hell
almost
or high
like
water.
an intentional to-do list that you're going to
Hmm.
hold yourself accountable to accomplish the next day. I like the
Absolutely.
pre-planning of that. I like because I think a lot of people, they live by their calendar. I mean, I'm unfortunately one of those people. But then the calendar is just filled with a lot of stuff, and they
Minutia.
don't
Yep.
have something intentional they're trying to accomplish in their day. So give me an example of an intentional goal. I'm going to talk to 5 people on the phone. I mean, I'm brainstorming with you. You're the pro. Tell me.
Absolutely. Well, one of my favorite things that I always tell people is connections are key, right? So making positive connections, making authentic connections is absolutely key in any business. So if you are to, I have a 10-10-10 rule. So it's 10 new connections on Facebook, 10 new connections on LinkedIn, 10 new connections on Shaper. Every single day takes you 10 minutes a day. It's 10-10-10 takes you 10 minutes. That's it. Um, be authentic, say hi, have a conversation. Do not, please do not start spamming people with whatever the hell you feel
Uh,
like you want to say to them, because honestly, I'm the jerk. I'm totally the jerk. If you send me your sales pitch when you connect with me, I send you a picture of spam. I'm just like,
nice.
yep. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to disconnect from you now. Thank you very much. I'm not looking for you to sell me. Appreciate it. Some people will actually come back to the forefront and say, I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. I really apologize. And they've actually jumped into my cohort because they're like, I
Sure.
don't want people to think that I'm spamming them. I'm like, well, that's exactly what you're doing by doing this.
Yes. Why is that so
So
hard for people to understand? When somebody reaches out to me or wants to connect with me, let's say on social media, LinkedIn, I'll use immediately when I get the request, I usually say yes, unless it's someone I have no one in common with. That's for a whole nother show. But I say it, and then sometimes I regret it because then immediately I get the message of, so who do you have your finances with? Or there's no discussion about collaboration or getting to know me, and you can tell. I don't want to pick on my health insurance industry people because I'm licensed in that, but that I get like 9 or 10 of those a day, exact same format, cookie cutter. You're there with U.S. Financial, blah blah blah. I'm making up that name, and all I can think, I push back every time. I'm not quite like you with the spam thing, but I think I'm going to pick that up. Why do we have to lead with that? Why are people just afraid of leading with what they really want to accomplish? Is that what they're told and they don't know better?
most of them are told that and they don't know better. So unfortunately, there is like a shit ton of trainings out there that teach bad marketing practices.
Yes.
And, we live in an industry, or we live in a time, should I say, that everybody is oversold, right? Everyone is oversold. So if you look at some of the best marketers in the country, we'll take McDonald's, for example, right? Like if you think about McDonald's, you're going to see those big golden arches in the sky, and you're going to know there's some nasty ass fries underneath that sign, right? You know it. But did you know that you probably engaged with McDonald's 9 times before you pass those golden arches? Between radio ads, billboards, TV commercials, everything. You have interacted with McDonald's 9 times before you decide to get off that exit and get those nasty ass fries that you're going to regret later, right? You have
But they're
interacted
like
with them.
that. They're so good going
They
down.
are crack. They are crack. But that's their messaging. Their messaging is, hey, by the way, listen, this isn't going to break your budget. It's super cheap. It's affordable, and it's something that you want, and you don't have to tell anybody because we put the trash cans conveniently right near your car, so you can eat this crap and then dump it out so no one knows that you ate it.
I
Right?
mean, that
Like,
is such the truth.
right, but everybody knows like that's that concept, but no one thinks of, I've interacted with McDonald's like 9 times before making the decision to go get McDonald's.
Right. You're right. I wouldn't have. You're absolutely right, though. That happens, and you do.
Hmm.
There is this guilt. I mean, it's fascinating their marketing. We could. I'm sure there's classes on that, but that's such a
Oh
great
yeah.
example of how you are They've already built that. They've built their foundation, right? They're all over them. They've got this foundation on every potential platform you could ever visit in your lifetime, whether it's physical, social, radio, you pick it. That's smart identifying that. But what does a small business do? What does a small business do that says, all right, well, I want to interact. I want people to think of me.
It's the same concept. So what you have to do is you have to create a magnetic message. So that's where that piece comes in. So what do? They do billboards, they do radio, they do TV, they do all the expensive crap, right? Like they do all the, yeah, we have a bazillion-dollar budget because we're McDonald's. So yeah, we can spend this kind of money. It's fine, right? But when you're a small business, what you need to do is you need to create that same authentic connection, because that's all it is. It's an authentic connection. You are connecting with people in a way to say, we are the only option for you. And why are we the only option for you? Because we're the best option. So let's explain to you what that looks like. So by creating an authentic connection, not a spam, not a here's my pitch, buy my shit. When you're creating that authentic connection with people, you are letting them know, this is why you need to have a conversation with me, because I'm going to bring something of value to you. I'm going to give you something of value, and that's going to take you to the next level. So let me explain to you why we need to have this conversation. And it's a completely different perspective.
It's so good because it comes from the way you just framed that. It comes from a collaborative spirit, which I think if more people would take the approach, that's how you make the connections. It can't always be what the person on the other side of the introduction can do for you. As a matter of fact, you should, as you said, never lead with that. But the collaborative spirit, the how can we help each other? What do you do? How can we fit together? It's just so important, because that's where the authenticity comes in. If all I'm doing is going, oh my God, Suzanne, I have a mortgage company. If I want you to use me as your mortgage company, I would never lead with that, ever. I don't even talk about what I do until we're 2-3 meetings in usually. And I'm trying to figure out and find my way through. But that's a lot of years of experience. What you're talking about, the knowledge that you're giving people as a coach, is just critical. And if they listen to it, I absolutely know their business will grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, it's about that authentic connection. People want to know that you're bringing something of value to them. Because if you think about anything, it's like coming to a birthday party, taking the cake, taking the food, and not bringing a present.
No doubt. I want to know what you mentioned 3 platforms earlier, and I just want to clarify what the one. It was LinkedIn, Facebook, and
Shaper.
I don't know what that is.
I know most people don't know what it is. So Shaper is actually a really great platform. So it's kind of like LinkedIn and Tinder mixed, but it's not for dating. So that makes it even better. So I know, right? And so it's all swiping, but you have a profile, but you don't have like a news feed. There's no place for you to like put like ads and put like your pictures every single day. It's direct connect with people. Either you want to connect with them or you don't want to connect with them. If you want to, it's like instant communication.
I love that. So I'll have to look that up. I kind of like the fact that you can swipe left or right, because there are some people, like I try to accept people. People are always going to have a pitch, right? And if I can teach them like you, I'm just not a professional coach. But I think it's important that people want the connection and they don't want all the noise. So it sounds like that particular platform is like this, that, and then there's no noise involved because you're engaging, you're choosing to engage. And I love that, because then there's no way for me to get caught up in whatever kind of spiel you're about to give me. Or
exactly.
If I choose, and I know what I'm getting myself into.
Right. So when you get like the Bitcoin people, you can say, no, thank you. I don't want to connect. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So why did you choose beacon? Your website is be a beacon in your industry. And I love that word because it just represents light and shining and leadership, in my opinion. Why did you choose that as part of your message and your branding?
Oh, absolutely. So there's a very specific reason. So like, way back when I was like a little marketing pup, lead magnet used to be considered the lighthouse method of marketing. So the Lighthouse method of marketing is actually creating a strong inbound marketing campaign that draws people into you like a beacon.
Nice. That's what
So
you
be a
want, right?
beacon. Mhm.
Because I tell
Plus, I'm a
people,
beach girl.
I'm I'm sure you tell people this too. If you have to go into a networking event, for example, and you're the first person to throw your business cards at everyone, you're the person I'm running away from. And I think people get caught up because, again, we talked about it earlier, they don't know exactly, they feel that they're passionate, but they don't know how to express that passion in a way that converts to a real authentic conversation. And so part of the majority of the problem at these networking events is that these people, they've got their business card and, oh my God, I got my business card, I'm going to give it to you. And somehow that magically transfers all of the authenticity to that card. And it's just not the way it's supposed to be. And you
Hmm.
teach them to do things in a way where it's going to build a real relationship and a valued relationship that isn't just the fluff that we all have.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. There's a reason why I have an 87% close rate.
Love it. All right, so tell me, that alarm was not for you, which is funny. I don't even know why it went off, so I never time anybody. Tell us how we reach you. How do people engage you? How do people learn more about being a beacon in their industry and get involved with Suzanne Dwyer and her coaching?
Absolutely. Me personally, I have an 18-month-long waiting list right now. But
Woo!
I know, but the good thing is that I have some amazing coaches that work with me, that train with me, and that I interact with, and I also interact with all of the cohorts. So, beabeaconinyourindustry.com is the absolute best way to go and pick your favorite coach based off of what you're looking to achieve. We have all kinds of coaches that cover all different things from sales to automation to online marketing to um, franchises. If you want to franchise your business, we have a franchise coach, we have an invention coach, we have everything you could possibly think of. So whatever it is you're looking to accomplish in your business, our coaches are absolutely able to help, and it's affordable, which is the best part, and you get access to me. So that's another cool thing too.
I think it's so important. People get caught up in the word coach because there's so
Mhm.
many quote unquote coaches out there. And I think it's so important to do your research. So when you look up be a beacon in your industry.com, when you look up Suzanne, you'll see that she's got the experience, obviously. And anybody who swears on my show has got to be a great coach because I feel like that's just so critical and important. All right, you've been a joy. You're a little frozen over there on your end. Suzanne Dwyer, be a beacon in your industry.com. Reach out to her. She's obviously a big light in the world, and I appreciate you being on the show, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.